All right, all right, all right. Hopefully we're here. So, welcome to the Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Carlito Santiago, and today I'm here to talk about a very special episode. Very special episode we got here. And I'm here to talk about pitching ideas for the WWE and how AEW could have been fixed before their downward spiral. If you guys haven't already, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, comment down below, and turn on those post notifications so you never miss a stream from yours truly. We are just we're literally about a week, actually 1 week away from Clash in Paris, so I can't wait for this. Cannot wait for Clash in Paris. It's gonna be nice, gonna be fun. I can't wait. Actually, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Check back here. Hold on. Okay. So, I have a couple ideas. You guys can read the text that's right here. Of course. These are some ideas, pitching ideas for WWE to use, of course, that might be good. So, I'm going to break down each one. This might be a long stream, but I'm going to break down each one and explain why it would be profitable, why it would be useful, and how they should go about it. So, the first one is expanding AAA and having a weekly program in the United States exclusively on YouTube. Now, for the past months or so, the past couple of months, they have been doing AAA shows for AAA since WWE bought AAA. They've been doing their live programming shows for live events on YouTube for free, and there's gotten so many views on them. I think that WWE should automatically take advantage of this, expand AAA to the point of where maybe they have a show on a Thursday, bring it to the USA Network, or even bring it to YouTube exclusively. The pay-per-views can be free on YouTube. Run them for like 2 hours, or run it for like an hour and a half, or do something. Use some of the stars, even use WWE stars to cut promos and to help build an audience. I know they do shows in Mexico for wrestling, Lucha Libre. But this would be beneficial for WWE, and they would profit from this, especially since they have TNA, or since they have AEW, they have AAA in their hands and in their rights, and they can put whatever they want on YouTube, and it should be exclusively to YouTube. That way, people can watch free wrestling on like a Thursday night, one of the nights where nobody really does anything. And with it being on YouTube, you don't have to deal with any of the networks or cables or anything, and YouTube's a free app you can easily just watch it on, right? So this would be super beneficial to WWE to expand AAA more and have their luchadors and superstars appear on those programs too, to even hype it up. Like for titles, you can, have the AAA Mega Championship, the AAA Cruiserweight Championship, the AAA Tag Team Championships, the AAA Women's Championship. Like, you can put a lot of things in there for that and have your stars compete on that show. Have some of your writers even, create some storylines, work with the Mexican promoters of the show too. This would be beneficial for WWE to expand on AAA instead of having pay-per-view to pay-per-view to pay-per-view on YouTube. And right now, it feels like that's what they're doing with AEW when they first started, pay-per-view to pay-per-view to pay-per-view, and then they finally get a show. But yeah, I think eventually WWE should expand this, and they should have it, they should bring it over to the USA, They should, or work with Mexico networking and have them, try to get it streamed on YouTube, which would be nice. The next idea I had in mind, of course, has always been a TNA and NXT crossover, basically where they have a Duke battle. The idea of NXT versus TNA originally would have been NXT and AEW when AEW was starting, where they could have brought back WWF's Invasion. TNA, of course, now has obviously Final Destination, or AEW could have done Revolution. So eventually, we're going to get an NXT and TNA crossover, and I hope they use 3 pay-per-views. Honestly, Worlds Collide would have been nice, but they're using it for AAA. So here, the idea of pay-per-views would be Invasion and Final Destination as like one of those final kind of pay-per-views for it. And then Deadline could be a final pay-per-view for NXT to come out on top. But you use these pay-per-view ideas to there's even more you could come up with. But it would be nice, see Moose take on Obafemi, or have Joe Hendry take on fucking Sean Spears, or Ricky Saints, or Ethan Page. Like, this would be nice, and we get that crossover that a lot of people want. You can also get probably maybe Chelsea Green up against fucking or even Jason Jane, or Jodin Grace up against fucking Slamovich, and you have that TNA NXT kind of balance there, fucking stars from each promotion going head to head in these, moments. And you have this show, and that's what they're doing. They're more, say, like, on that same level. Like, now NXT and TNA are kind of like, if not the same at this point, which is great. So now they should cross over and have head-to-head pay-per-views where they go back and forth, kind of like Survivor Series, where you got Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. Now it's Team NXT versus Team TNA. And you could do, like, NXT TNA. I don't know, something weird. But yeah, I think they should have a crossover pay-per-views, or they fucking, they have like a battle to determine who's the best brand or who's the best promotion. That would be nice. And WWE, and they would profit. They'd make a profit off of it. The amount of tickets they can sell, depending on the location that they choose. Like Invasion, they can do the Performance Center if they want to. Final Destination could take place in Florida, so it makes it easier for NXT stars to be there. And other places that would benefit more. They could go Massachusetts. They could do, for their bigger pay-per-views, they could do other things. But I've been wanting a TNA NXT crossover since they started collabing together. Battling out. The next one on this list I wrote, now we're going to get into some superstars. The next one that I wrote is Tony D'Angelo should come to the main roster and rebuild his rep. So if you guys remember, Tony D'Angelo from the D'Angelo family, he had a D'Angelo family until it all fell apart. So now Tony D's out for himself. So Tony D should finally get to the main roster. He finally makes it to the main roster and he establishes himself. He is the dawn of WWE. He's got his crew with him. They're doing his shit, but he's got to build up that reputation. He's got to build up that reputation back up. So getting him some wins, finally even possibly competing for the United States Championship, which is right now on SmackDown. He would be a perfect fit on SmackDown. He could build up this reputation that he has. He can get his men to do whatever he needs them to do. And he really comes off as a soprano. He comes to the main roster to rebuild his rep and to establish himself as the dawn of the WWE instead of the dawn of NXT. Tony D'Angelo would benefit a lot from this. Of course, he's a bigger man. He's got that Italian vibe. Like, he really, if you want to restart it over and have Channing Stacks with him, sure. You want to have fucking Luca even be with him, sure. But Tony D doesn't even need all that. He just needs to have, his reputation. He needs to establish that back up. So I think that Tony D should finally come to the main roster, and WWE should pitch the idea of like where, he takes the gimmick with him. He's the dawn of WWE. He's got men doing different things, and you could have him be the babyface in this. Hell, you could have him fucking be the one to defeat Solo to win that U.S. Championship. That would be pretty good. Establish him, build his rep, have him take on the mid-card division for quite some time, and then keep getting him some wins, and then obviously have him, D'Angelo, who used to have a family, take on a man who used to be a part of a family that now he had to rebuild. See, that's even a better compelling story, in my opinion. A once family man, now all alone, takes on a family member who now establishing his own family. That'd be a good way for WWE to go into it. That'd be great. So, moving on to number 4. The next one is Finn Balor finally turning face and winning Dominic's IC title. There have been hints of Finn Balor trying to get Dominic Mysterio to lean towards Roxanne. Trying to get Liv Morgan out of the group and replace her. So Liv Morgan might be the next one to go babyface, but that kind of sucks because Finn Balor is doing like he's not. He should be getting the same treatment that Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest had. That baby face, crowds with him, rocking with him, and Finn Balor doesn't have that. Finn Balor is going to. They're probably going to make Dominic the babyface. Honestly, like more people want to cheer for Dominic than they want to cheer for Balor, which sucks because Balor hasn't been fucking interesting since what, like several years ago, when he was the first Universal Champion, or when he was IC Champion. Before, when he took on Bobby Lashley. I don't even want people to remember that, but you get my drift. Like Finn Balor is going to eventually. Face Dominic for the IC title because Dominic pinned Balor. Dominic pinned Balor to win the title in the first place. And Balor's probably not going to forget that. But if Liv Morgan has a plan up her sleeve of like maybe turning on Finn Balor, like Finn Balor will lose the tag team titles with JD McDonough and fucking Finn Balor will fucking get kicked out of the group, that's perfect. Because then it sets up Finn Balor's face turn and it sets up Finn Balor to take the title from Dominic after being pinned by him. And Finn Balor will get the crowd reaction that he deserves of being a babyface and going back to the Balor Club. And of course being his New Japan type fucking role. And finally winning Dominic's IC title, taking it away from him, can also build up Dominic. You can build Dominic's ego getting the best of him. And the women that he's with, shit. And you have JD getting close with Raquel, that's even better. Because now establish them as a unit. And have Liv Morgan take over as the group's leader now, And Finn Balor is no longer a leader. And that would also do is that would kick out, if they kick out Finn Balor, that would basically mean that the Judgment Day is a whole new group. Because the original Judgment Day had Edge, Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, and then Finn Balor. And then they kicked out Edge and replaced with Dominic Mysterio. So, of course, Dominic and Finn would be coming head-to-head like this. And that'd be nice, That'd be so nice. And that's great, because it should. They should come head-to-head. They should come face-to-face. And Finn Balor should take the title from Dom, because that's what they're hinting at, too. Sort of. Like, Finn Balor's like, he's looking at that title, like, I want that IC title, but right now I'm okay with my tag team titles. As long as I got these. And Finn Balor's going to get jealous. So eventually somebody's going to take those tag team titles away from Finn Balor and JD McDonough. And then eventually it's the decision of whether you want to have Finn Balor kicked out or Finn Balor stays and you kick Dominic out. Up to them. Give me one moment. Fuck. Okay, just had to get the glasses. So, the next one I wrote on here, and you guys are probably wondering, I thought of this idea back when, like, Rusev and Sheamus were going at it in Donnybrook, and Wade Barrett on commentary, and I was like, why don't we get Wade Barrett's not probably going to ever come back to the ring, but why does he manage a group? And the group I'm thinking of at this point is called the United Front. Now, what is the United Front? Well, the United Front would eventually be Wade Barrett managing guys, a heel group. Wade Barrett would get it under people's skin, be just a manager. The main stars in the stable are 4 people. So Wade Barrett would be managing Drew McIntyre, who would be their standout big star, because McIntyre is really a heel and he comes off as a great heel. And he doesn't need a manager to speak for him. It's just that Wade Barrett, having Wade Barrett there, utilizing the talent that Wade Barrett has. Like, he can speak on it. He can even hit people with the bullhammer if he needs to. It's just to set up people in these positions, such as, of course, Drew McIntyre, who's not really doing much. So Drew McIntyre would be like the first man to be in there. The next man that I would probably grab from this group is Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. Those two are big individuals I would grab here. Those, what I forget what the hell they're called. Their name. The New Catch Republic. Yeah, the New Catch Republic. I would grab them, and they would be like a tag team stable for McIntyre. I know they're cruiserweights, but like Pete Dunne would be definitely, that kind of group member. And then, honestly, grab Rich Holland. I know it's not. I know it's a pretty bad idea to do that, but grab Rich Holland. And for there, you can have the united front where they're all united. They stand together. They're not fucking around. They're here to get McIntyre. They're here to help McIntyre capture gold. Kind of like what Seth Rollins is doing, but in a different sense, Like if Wade Barrett, by any means necessary, honestly, for Wade Barrett, helping McIntyre, because Wade Barrett will see that McIntyre's failing, and McIntyre doesn't know where to go. Where's McIntyre going to go? He can't do it alone. He needs help, because everybody needs help. As a heel, you need help. So Wade Barrett offers his assistance, and managing him would help. And having the stable, called the United Front, of course, united as, of course, like the United Kingdom, because you got different fucking people from different places. And then the front refers to, of course, as as like a barrier or a guard. Front. You know what I mean? Now, Wade Barrett would provide that front for McIntyre. So would fucking Ridge Holland. So would Pete Dunne. And so would Tyler Bate. If you don't want to do Tyler Bate or Tyler Bate, go with Pete Dunne. If you don't want to go with Pete Dunne, go with Tyler Bate. And then maybe throw in a fourth person. Could be Rusev, just to add some, element in there. That would be nice. I think Barrett should manage a stable. I think he should come on a commentary, manage a stable, and then who do we put into the position for SmackDown? Well, I would honestly probably call up fucking Booker T for SmackDown. I would honestly call up Booker T for SmackDown. And then who'll go for NXT? Well, we don't know. We'll have to replace that, and that will probably be easier on their part, on Sean's part, to find somebody. Booker T should honestly be up on SmackDown. He's got more of an experience on SmackDown. Wade Barrett does, but Wade Barrett would be most likely for NXT, if anything, as a commentator. So I think Wade Barrett should really manage a stable. He should get back in that business of just managing, not fucking wrestling, If his wrestling days are done and done. If he wants to wrestle, then great. The group to me would be Wade Barrett, Drew McIntyre, Pete Dunne, and Rich Holland. And you can add Tyler Bate if you want. That'd be a good, start there. LA Knight's heel run, and no, it's been coming. It's been a long time coming. LA Knight has had a short heel run when he was Max Dupree, but now he's just LA Knight, and he's got the mouth for it. LA Knight has got, he has gotten screwed after screwed after screwed, and many times in the past before too. LA Knight can definitely run as a heel if you give him that chance. Even in NXT when he faced Cameron Grimes for the multi-million-dollar championship. You can easily, LA Knight can easily run his mouth off until the wheels fall off. And I think LA Knight is perfect as a heel. He comes off as an arrogant, cocky asshole, and that's perfect. That's what I picture a heel to be, cocky and arrogant. And then he gets to set up those perfect little fucking, whoa, 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 and then get punched in the face. Facial expressions, fucking reactions, those are perfect. The little stand tall and build up younger stars. LA Knight's already became a mainstream name. It's kind of hard to do that for LA Knight right now because of how big his is. But eventually he can turn on the fans and he can go to the nah. Instead of he can go nah. LA Knight, nah. Just like how they go yeet, no yeet. But I'm definitely team yeet. But again, LA Knight being a heel works. It fits for LA. It fits for him. He's got the mouth for it, and he's got the persona for it. He's got the personality for it. His heel run would take a journey to defeating basically beating guys like Jey Uso. Sami Zayn would be an opponent for him. Sheamus would be a good opponent for him. Anybody he can really get a good match. And Penta would even be a perfect opponent for him. I don't know what his end game would be. But his heel run would take a journey through LA Knight, telling the fans that, he's sick of the He's tired of, because everything's just a everything's just a joke, right? Nah. Everything's not just a joke, especially when you snap into a Slim Jim, brother. Or, drink a Prime. This is the new KSI Prime, so I picked them up at the store. And honestly, not that bad. It is called strawberry cream. Never thought I'd say that. But it's really good. It's really good. Go pick some up at your local convenience store or store that's around you. Let's move on to two big ones right here, okay? Because they kind of simultaneously match up. So the first one is Nia Jax joining Solo's bloodline. So if you guys know the bloodline lineage, you guys know that the Anoa'i family is a big fucking family tree. So Nia Jax is a relative of that family, offspring. Now, mind you, Nia Jax's father is second cousins to the Anoa'i family. Second cousins. Now, Nia Jax is got nothing going on right now other than kind of wanting to get her lick back for that women's world title. At this point, it would be nice to have her and Tamina, if Tamina's still with the company. If not, just Nia Jax, join Solo's bloodline to even make them stronger. And, of course, have some help in the pursuit of the women's championship. See, Nia Jax joining Solo's group would be strong, and it would establish that, yeah, she's a part of the family, whether you like it or not. Now, Nia Jax adds the female aspect to the bloodline. Just like how a lot of people have talked about, they wanted Naomi's aspect or abundance into the bloodline because she is a part of the family through marriage. But Nia Jax should be within the bloodline because she's through blood. She is second cousins to the Anoa'i family. So Nia Jax at this point should join Solo's bloodline, help them out with some wins, and she can beat up some men. I mean, it's not like we've seen men beat up her. I mean, Randy Orton gave her an RKO. Fucking Rey Mysterio gave her a 619 in a Royal Rumble, right? So, but she could also win that world championship and prove to Solo that she's worth keeping. On top of that, now, Zilla Fatu. Oh yeah, Zilla Fatu should join WWE off of Booker T's promotion. Zilla Fatu should join WWE, be a part of SmackDown to take down the Bloodline family. And Zilla's even mentioned he wants to join this he wants to be a part of, this story and being able to take down the Bloodline. He wants to be able to beat up Solo, beat up Tala, beat up Tama, beat up Tonga, and beat up Jeff Cobb. He has talked about wanting to not join Solo's bloodline, but be a part of, with Jacob Fatu and fucking Jimmy and Jay and Sammy and Roman. Be in that aspect. And that would be perfect because Zilla is, of course, the son of Umaga. And this is perfect. Him and fucking Jimmy and Fatu, Jacob Fatu, would be perfect. Zilla, Jacob, fucking the Fatu brothers. Perfect. That'd be great. And they could take them down at Survivor Series War Games. You could do, of course, you would have to do all men. So you would have to do Solo, Tala Tonga, Tama Tonga, who would return. I almost wrote that in there too. Tama Tonga returns. Well, it's Zilla Fatu makes up for that, missing piece. But Tama Tonga, Solo, Tala Tonga, Tama Tonga, Tongaloa, and Jeff Cobb take on Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Jacob Fatu, and Zilla Fatu. Jimmy, Jay, Sammy, Jacob, and Zilla. And then you can have Nia Jax try to get her championship back with help of the blood, hopefully through means of pulling some strings in the bloodline. But yeah, Zilla Fatu would be a great version to have in this, and probably be a good addition to counter Solo's spike, because he has a lifting spike and he could easily do that to Tama Tonga, maybe Tongaloa, and it would be nice to see how he goes up against fucking Tala Tonga, the tallest Tongan. It'd be nice to see what we got going there. I think Zilla and Nia Jax being a part of this story would even improve the story arc that they got going now. Because right now it's lacking. Right now this bloodline shit should be over, but it's lacking. Because there's nothing. What are they going to do with Solo afterwards? I know this one's been coming. I know you're probably waiting for this. I know a lot of people have been reading this. Dr. Britt Baker coming to NXT to mix things up. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with the contract. I don't know what's going on with her in AEW. But if there's anything I do think that should happen is Britt Baker should cut her ties with AEW, and she should come right over, jump ship to the black and gold brand. She should come over, or the black and silver brand. She should come right over, mix things up, become NXT Women's Champion. She would be a great addition to this. She could laugh it up. She could easily, get that Adam Cole treatment too, opposed to what he's getting in AEW right now, unfortunately. And she should immediately kind of stake her claim for the women's NXT championship. She could easily defeat JC Jane for it if she needs to. She gets to also combat with, of course, the TNA NXT programming crossover. That would be perfect for her to join NXT to help them kind of put one over on TNA. And yeah, I think Britt Baker would be a great addition to help mix things up for this. And Dr. Britt Baker can be, she can face many people in the TNA crossover. She could face Slamovich. She could face Ash by Elegance. She could even be, if she wants to even be in a tag team with somebody, they could take on the Inspirations. There's a lot of things you could do with Dr. Britt Baker in fucking NXT, opposed to right now in AEW, because there's really nothing. Because all she's doing, I believe right now, is sitting on a fucking contract, waiting for Tony to pull some fucking, oh, you guys forgot about her? Well, guess what? Not anymore. So, again, I don't know what the fuck is going on with Dr. Britt Baker on AEW, but we'll talk about AEW in quite a bit. Britt Baker would be a great addition to NXT. WWE would benefit from it, NXT benefits from it, and even TNA benefits from it. Right now, Britt Baker is kind of counting on what she wants to do with her time off, and I think she needs to make up her mind, make a decision, because, at the end of the day, coming to NXT and mixing things up would be perfect for her. And WWE should honestly, set up her ideas. She should get into a feud with, I'm not saying, right away. I'm saying she should stake her claim in NXT as, the newest woman here. But then she should fucking, prove why she's the newest woman here. Maybe take on somebody like Jodine Grace or Blake Monroe or fucking, somebody who, maybe even Jada Parker or Lash Legend, for that matter. And then build herself up to that moment where she can get that the NXT Women's World Championship go for. And the last idea that's here that I wrote, and I know you guys are probably wondering, if you guys haven't read my top post on Twitter, I did picks for anybody to win the Royal Rumble of next year. So in 2026, they are going to Saudi Arabia for the Royal Rumble. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is where I bring up Sammy's biggest moment. So Sami Zayn is my pick to win the Royal Rumble of 2026 as of right now. As of right now, the idea is for Sami Zayn to win the Royal Rumble of 2026. That could change depending on their build-up to the Royal Rumble, but Sami Zayn is the only one who I see winning the Royal Rumble in 2026. Unless something catastrophic happens to him or he gets fucking, injured around that time. Sami Zayn is the only person in my eyes I see winning that fucking Royal Rumble. You have Zayn Mania or Sami Mania, and fucking it goes mayhem. You get a lot of people out there fucking chanting his name, singing his song, and at WrestleMania he takes the world championship. He finally accomplishes his dream of being world champion, just like his best friend Kevin Owens. You can even, when he comes back, he can have a program with Sami Zayn, and fucking leading up, Sami Zayn can be treated like an afterthought. You could give him that Daniel Bryan story if you want to, Zayn Mania or Sami Mania, You give him that biggest moment, that walk down to the entrance, that vibe, that feel that he wants to have. That's an electrifying feel to have. Sami Zayn's biggest moment would be winning the Royal Rumble and then winning the World Championship. And Sami Zayn won't hold it that long. I don't think Sami Zayn is the type of person to hold it. Jey Uso should have held it for 3 months. He didn't. But Sami Zayn should have a 3-month reign. Sami Zayn should definitely have a good 3-month reign. By the end of that 3 months, somebody who's new and up and coming, Braun Breaker even, might take it from him. I say that this is what WWE should do. They should have Sami Zayn win the Rumble, keep Rollins world champion at WrestleMania, Rollins, Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn takes the title from Seth Rollins, and then 3 months later, you put in the big dog. You put in Braun Breaker, and he wins the World Heavyweight Championship from Sami Zayn. I think that's perfect because then it capitalizes on the opportunity and aspects of the feud between Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn. Not only that, but you also have the possibility of Braun Breaker having a manager in his corner opposed to Seth Rollins, which would be Paul Heyman. And it can set up a good back and forth between, the champion now versus what should be the new champion, Braun Breaker. And Seth Rollins can easily go back to being a babyface and fight for getting back, I got you here, and now I'm going to take you out type shit. But Sami Zayn should have a big moment in 2026, and I can't wait for that to be the moment, especially on ESPN, which would be nice. Sami Zayn gets that lick he's been waiting for since, of course, a very, long time. Now, again, there won't be any money in the bank. There won't be anything to stop him from accomplishing that until, of course, Money in the Bank rolls around, and then somebody could cash in and easily take it from him. But I think Sami Zayn is the next person to win that championship. And if you look at the picture that I've shown before with Cody and Jay and Sami holding up Cody. Cody lost the title. Jay picked up a title. Now it's time for Sami Zayn to be the one to hold a title. And then everybody else around him turned heel. Randy turned heel, Randy will eventually turn heel on Cody. Kevin Owens has turned heel. John Cena was turned heel. And then LA Knight, like I've mentioned, will possibly be turning heel sooner. So that, again, that very own, thing will be made of. And right now Cena's playing babyface because he wants those last moments to count for his last final 10 dates. And I don't blame him. So Sami Zayn's biggest moment will be winning the Royal Rumble next year and going to WrestleMania and winning at WrestleMania in Vegas, putting everything on the line that he has. And that's perfect considering we're going to Vegas for it. The even more reason why for Sami Zayn to win. Those are my ideas for pitching WWE. Tell me which ones you guys liked in the comments down below. My personal favorite is, of course, the Bloodline idea, Sammy's big moment, and, of course, Tony D'Angelo Finn Balor getting his rep. And, of course, the AEW, or the AAA expanding. But now, I'm going to give you something else to this. It is now time to expand on WWE, or on AEW's fucking shit. So, I wrote this out yesterday, and I have these are the whole fucking things that I put down just to kind of give you an idea of what I would do, or how AEW could have been fixed before their downward spiral. AEW was in a shithole, because they're still clowning on WWE for having stupid, shitty storylines, when AEW's copying those same storylines that WWE used back in the day, especially from WCW and ECW. Go fuck yourselves. Tony Khan doesn't know what he's doing. Tony Khan got rid of a lot of things, and right now the program is shit. And it will continue to be shit unless he changes and fixes, and he takes a wholehearted reset. Right now, they have dug themselves a 6-foot grave, lied themselves in it, and they are continuously burying themselves even further. They're continuing to dig more. They lied in that 6-foot hole, and they were like, nah, not deep enough. So they kept going. Now, was there a way for AEW to be fixed before they started to dig deeper? Yes, there was. And this is the list I have right here. The first thing they should have done was split the fucking roster and renegotiate contracts. What does splitting the roster do? Well, after they picked up Ring of Honor, they bought Ring of Honor, and they started to have weekly shows for it, they had to have split the roster. You need to pick people to go to the roster on different sides, so you keep that AEW blend and that Ring of Honor blend different. Okay? You renegotiate contracts. So people like Marco Stunt, bye-bye. I would have got rid of. Fucking other people who don't belong, bye-bye. See ya. Mix up the commentary team a bit, which I also do have for number 4, which I'll get into. But yeah, split the fucking roster. Like, you got to split your roster half and half. You need to keep most of your main stars, your top stars who are going to build up your show and your main event and your pay-per-views on the mainstream show, which is, of course, Dynamite, and then put all of your other stars who are also pretty top, but not to the same level as others, on Ring of Honor, So like the Death Riders or the Blackpool Combat Club, they would have been immediately put on Ring of Honor. So then I could focus on Kenny Omega and Heyman Adam Page and fucking MJF and then Bobby Lashley. You know what I mean? Simple. The other step to this would have been setting up a weekly program schedule and removing Collision to bring back Rampage. And I've listed it right here for all of you. So pay-per-views would be on Sunday, right? 4 hours at best. We don't need 7 to 8 hours of pay-per-view time. Fuck that. Because now you're just making every fucking pay-per-view feel like a WrestleMania. And nobody wants to sit through a fucking long-ass WrestleMania pay-per-view. You have Dark Elevate. Now, I know there was a Dark Elevation streamed on YouTube. Free. For an hour and a half to 2 hours. And what I would do here, since WWE's got Evolution, or Evolve, sorry, they got Evolve on Tubi, I think this would be perfect for AEW to take advantage of this. They do AEW Dark Elevate, they do AEW Dark Elevation, and they do what Evolve's doing. You hire some younger stars, you start reaching out to younger athletes, and you start to put them on the show. So then you start to have them hold their own shit, trying to build their name and establish themselves. Like, treat it like a Tough Enough or NXT beforehand, like sort of like a game, not like a game show, but like, treat it like Evolve is doing. It can run for an hour and a half to 2 hours. I don't care what you do, on YouTube. Dark Tuesdays, 2 hours. This is so that AEW can the stars that don't get to feature on the 2 original programs, which is Ring of Honor and Dynamite. They get the time to fucking spend here, and people who need to get a win or gain momentum, they can get it here on Dark on Tuesdays for YouTube. Dynamite and Ring of Honor, Wednesdays and Thursdays for 2 hours. And then bring back Rampage on Fridays. Right after SmackDown, boom, Rampage. Fucking perfect. I don't understand why you still have fucking Collision opposed to Rampage. More people watched Rampage, loved when Mark Henry said, it is time for the main event, opposed to you having fucking Collision. Which, ever since Punk was a part of, was a good thing until Punk left or got removed or permanently removed, and viewership went down and down and down, and you still don't want to treat it like a downward spiral. Fuck you. The next one is working with network execs, YouTube people from Prime Video. Try to get this is what I would do. This is my setup. This is what I would do for setup. No wrestling on Saturdays. Sundays would be pay-per-views when we get there. But this is what I would do. I would have Dark Elevate, and Dark on YouTube. Hour and a half, 2 hours, right here on YouTube. I would probably stick with the TBS for Dynamite, or switch over to Prime Video, Amazon Prime Video, and even get the pay-per-views on Prime Video, if so. That way we can keep it consistent kind of running. And if you already have a existing Prime Video subscription, no charge, no additional cost. See, work with them. Work around this. Get into the streaming service. Like, HBO dropped your ass. Fucking, they didn't want your shit. Right? And then Rampage would be on TNT. Hell, even fucking, if you want to even stick with TBS and TNT, shit. Rampage and Dynamite would both be on, if I was to do cable-wise, they would both be on TBS. And Ring of Honor, I try to get a TNT deal. If I can't get TNT, hey, right here. Prime Video. Straight up. Or even YouTube. If I can get, a 2-hour YouTube for free for this shit. Do completely YouTube fucking for Dark Elevate and Ring of Honor, I would fucking do it. I would definitely take that, I mean, they're making money off of wrestling, and this is perfect. A lot of people will view Ring of Honor. And the pay-per-views, even for Ring of Honor, too, Ring of Honor pay-per-views, shit, same thing as the pay-per-views. Like I said, I would probably do Amazon Prime Video for this. This would be nice for them, Perfect for them. That'd be great. But look into these. Prime Video and YouTube are just prime examples. And then networking, like TBS. I'll even put, use TBS, fucking, even TNT, work with them, try to establish something, try to build up something. I know you guys still work with them, but work with them on trying to get onto a streaming service, let alone, Number 4, mix up the commentary teams. Like, fucking, and get some old talents. Like, for instance, dude, if I'm running AEW, I want 3 people on my commentary team. For Ring of Honor, 2. And I would have Christopher Daniels or Nigel McGuinness. Nigel McGuinness would be my general manager for Ring of Honor. And then fucking Christopher Daniels would be my head of talent relations if I was in charge for both Ring of Honor and for AEW and Ring of Honor. Okay? But, like, yeah, get Paul White and fucking Tony Schiavone to be a part of Elevate and Dark, and then commentary team, keep Excalibur, keep Tony Schiavone, keep fucking Jim Ross, and then Ring of Honor, kind of switch it up, whatever commentary team they got, and then Rampage, give me fucking Tony Schiavone and Taz, or give me, for Ring of Honor, give me Taz and whoever the fuck needs to be there. Like, mix up the commentary team so you've got a good blend of what you need. Remove, add, and move championships. The American title, fucking women's tag team titles, establish those. What I would do is I would take the TNT title and put it on fucking Ring of Honor, make it the Ring of Honor TNT title, right? If we can get a TNT deal with Ring of Honor, fucking, remove the television championship and replace it with that. So then you can have the Pure Championship, the Ring of Honor World Championship, the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship, the Ring of Honor Tag Team, and you get Ring of Honor Triple Tag Team, or Trios. And then for AEW, I would keep the World Championship, keep the Women's World Championship, keep the Tag Team Championships, keep the International Championships, or even the American title, kind of switch it up here and there, depending on the superstar, depending on what the superstar wants. And then, fuck it, add in fucking, add in the women's tag team titles. And then, of course, you have the TBS championship, which is for the women's too. But add in women's tag team titles, because I know that's something that they want to do. Don't add in, remove those trios tag team titles. Fuck that. Let Ring of Honor have those. Get these women's tag team titles out the fucking door. Switch it up a bit. But this is how they could have fixed it, but they never did. Another big thing they needed to do is hire talented writing staff and old talent personnel. For example, hire fucking Eric Bischoff if need so. Fucking, I know Jim Cornette talked about a time where he was offered to join this shit, and fucking he's like, hell no. You could have gotten a lot of people. Fucking Ric Flair being a part of this, old talent personnel. Fucking Eric Bischoff. Fucking one person I do not expect you to hire is Vince Russo. Go fuck yourself, Vince Russo, you fucking coward piece of shit, donkey fuck. Hire talented writing staff that can actually create stories without having to mix up, fuck. You know what I mean? Hire a good writing staff that can actually tell you some other good stories. And then reach and expand reach and find younger athletes. It's not that hard. If WWE is able to find these motherfuckers, I think you guys can too. And then this is what I mean. Number 7 to number 2 right here, Dark, Elevate, fucking right here. What I talked about. Expand reach and find younger athletes. Find young athletes who are willing to compete and become a new superstar. And this is how you're going to keep the generation of your wrestling show moving forward, so that you can grab these guys, put them on this show, and hell, even take these guys from Elevate and put them on Dark. And then if they're succeeding on Dark and Dark Elevate, move them on to Dynamite, see how they do, so then they can take a loss, or they'll go right back to Dark, Dark and Dark Elevate should feel like Evolve and NXT. Evolve, NXT, main show, and then Rampage is like a main show, or like a minor show for an hour. But this is how you could have done it. This is all right here, layered out. I had to write this all out, layer it out, and explain to you guys how pissed I am about their fucking decision to not do this crap. I mean, I don't own the company. All right? Tony Khan fucking does. With his daddy's money. So, honestly, this is what I would have done, though. I'd split the roster, renegotiate contracts, and even fucking, fire some people, too. To even save some money. But no, we're just throwing caution to the fucking wind and expecting these guys to, good performance. Like, no, motherfuckers, no good performance. You go out there, you perform in front of these crowds, you fucking, like, fuck this creative control shit. Creative freedom. I do believe you should have control of your own craft, but when it's only benefiting you and not anybody else, it's not helping anybody. When you're not willing to put people over when they're supposed to, it's all about you. And this is the one thing that Triple H had done back in the day. And it was not good. And it was a fucking problem. So again, if AEW would just follow these fucking steps, they could probably be a good show. They'd probably be a better show. Nobody was really watching Dark Elevation. Nobody was really watching Dark. Are you sure? I was. I have a fucking whole playlist of all the Darks and Dark Elevations you've done. Even from when you originally started it. And Dark Elevate. I put all the Darks in one whole AEW Dark category. So now all they have is they have nothing on Mondays, nothing on Tuesdays, Wednesday, Thursday Ring of Honor if you want it, and then Collision on Saturdays. They got nothing Friday, they got nothing Monday, got nothing Tuesday. And that's probably because they wanted to, fill in those gaps that because people watch fucking Raw and NXT, and you can compete with them. Well, motherfucker, that's not what I'm saying, trying to compete with them. I'm saying fucking do your own shit, make a whole week worth of wrestling, and keep Saturday on the low, and when you don't, hell, fuck it. There's a whole week of wrestling, though. You cover Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. You got the weekend off. That's fucking perfect. Until there's a pay-per-view. It's not that fucking hard, Tony. It's not that fucking hard. But apparently, you decide to make it hard. But this is what I would do. This is how AEW could have been fixed before their downward spiral. If they just did this. Now, they're going to continuously keep on digging their hole and sink. And sink further they shall. Alright. I'm glad I did this little special episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, I will be back this Tuesday for the Raw review. The final Raw before, of course, Clash of Paris. Predictions will be on Thursday. And Saturday, you'll get my SmackDown summary. But until then, I shall see you guys on Tuesday.